Hey, what's up, guys? It's Austin. I'm a photographer here with CBS 17.
And I'm Kelly Kennedy. I'm the reporter, and we work every single weekend.
Yep, Weekend Warriors.
So we just wanted to give you a little behind-the-scenes look at what our day looks like. It's always kind of unpredictable, right?
Yeah, we never really know what we're going to do till we show up. And even sometimes when we do, the whole day can change. That's news for you.
Yeah, within like 30 seconds, our entire day can just go out the window, and we're going somewhere else.
Yeah.
But let's hope that doesn't happen today. Hopefully we'll have like a kind of, easy Sunday.
Yeah.
So we are about to head to Durham.
Yep, we're about to go to our second story for the day.
Oh, I gotta buckle my seatbelt.
Safety first, kids. So we want y'all to ride with us, and I'll kind of show you what I do on a daily basis at work.
Do you want to tell them a little bit about the first story we just did?
Yeah, so the first story we did was with the church, and they were basically giving away toys for families that got hit pretty hard recently.
Clothing, a lot of clothing and diapers. A lot of families are affected by the government shutdown, so they were trying to offer this to get back to the community.
Yeah, and it's always a good thing when we can come out and localize like stuff in the community, because we cover a whole lot of different stuff, and it's always good to have like a feel-good story. I like doing that type of stuff.
And so that first story was called a VOSOT. For those of you that don't know the news lingo, it kind of sounds weird, but basically a VOSOT is like a shorter version of a story. It's typically where the anchor reads over video, and then there's one clip from an interview. Sometimes I would do a VOSOT if it's like live or something, where I would read it and there'd be a quick interview. Our longer stories that we do are called packages, and that's when it's like my track, like my voiceover throughout video with like little clips of interviews kind of interspersed in the story.
Basically the big story.
The big story.
Yeah.
So the big story today is, it's kind of an interesting story. So we're headed to Duke right now, Duke University. So basically the director of graduate studies for a Duke University School of Medicine department resigned yesterday, effective immediately. And the reason she resigned, screenshots of emails that she sent to students were sent all over social media. It kind of just blew up. And a lot of students are really upset about what she said. They're calling it xenophobic and inappropriate, disgraceful. So basically, I saw some of these screenshots of these emails. The woman's name is Megan Neely. She's the director of the Master of Biometrics program. She suggested that students refrain from speaking Chinese to improve their English. Now, she said she encourages students to use English 100% of the time, whether they're on campus or in any kind of a professional setting. Now, she also said that 2 faculty members said they were disappointed that students were speaking Chinese very loudly in student study areas. Now, obviously, a lot of international students and just other students in the school are upset about this. What do you think about this, Austin?
I mean, Duke has a lot of international students, so of course this is gonna, rub people the wrong way.
And that's what these students were saying. Like, that's their native language. That's a source of comfort for them. Why shouldn't they be allowed to speak their language?
Yeah, precisely.
So we are headed to Duke right now, basically. We got permission from the public information officer. You have to get permission to go on campus since it is a private university.
They're fancy.
And he basically gave us a 20-minute window to try to get interviews from students, and also probably we'll get some video of the campus and stuff to use for our stories. It's a little bit difficult to do interviews like that, especially when it's a topic that is not really positive for the school, although the school is apologizing. The dean actually sent out an email apologizing to these students. She also said there's going to be an investigation, and they're going to see what they can do to make it more comfortable for all international students in that department. And also, of course, the woman who sent those emails has resigned effective immediately. Students also started a petition about this because they were so upset about it. So that's probably also one of the reasons why. But it will be a little bit difficult for us, since we're going to be kind of followed around by someone from Duke, to get students to speak freely there. So that's why we've been working with social media to find students who are in some of these international organizations, and we think we're going to meet up with them afterwards, so we're not they don't feel too pressured.
Right, exactly. So you guys will get, behind the scenes look on, what it's like to get interviews with people, the kind of conversations that don't make the air. And you'll just kind of see what we have to do to bring the story full circle.
Right, because like it's a process. We do a lot of different things to like what you see on air is the finished product, but there's like a lot that goes into it in between, right?
A whole lot. We take about anywhere from, I guess it could be like from 10 minutes up to like sometimes even an hour, and we have to condense that into about less than 2 minutes. So it's definitely a process.
Yeah, a typical story, they really want it to be around a minute and 20 seconds. So that's really hard when you have like a lot of different interviews and a lot to say on certain stories. So it's really just kind of a process of, you know, you go get your interviews. Austin like shoots video of different things that work for the story. Sometimes, like in this instance, we'll probably use screenshots of those emails.
Yeah, we can use a couple of different things. Normally, Kelly will talk to the person, and while they're talking, maybe before or afterwards, I'll get what's called like a 2-shot and just.
I mean, have you been here a long time or?
It's my 3rd year. Okay. I'm a junior studying biology.
Do you like it?
And just them having a natural conversation, and that's basically for video purposes, so I have something to go back and cut back to versus just, you know, what we call a talking head, which is just the person being interviewed the whole time. So, you know, we have to
think creatively.
You gotta be creative with it, you know.
And so then after that, once we have all the video that we need, once we have the interviews we need, we're usually in the car. We kind of like live in the car.
Yeah, we definitely do. I got my lunchbox in here. We eat a lot of Chick-fil-A.
We all our chargers. We get fast food a lot of the times. I got my makeup in here. If I have to touch up my makeup before we go live, this is pretty much like our mobile home.
Yeah.
when we're working.
Basically, after we get finished doing the interview, me and Kelly will sit down. She'll start writing the package.
First I'll start like listening to the interviews, because that's actually the most annoying part of this job for me. I have to listen through all the interviews and like transcribe everything that I want to use. Austin kind of can chill and maybe eat a sandwich while I'm doing that. Then I write the story, and then once I write the story, we have to send it over to a manager, and we have to wait for them to approve it.
And then once they get it approved, I'll go ahead and edit the story.
Will you do the voiceover?
Well, yeah, Kelly tracks her voice first, and then I'll put the audio with the video. We'll make it look real pretty, put the bells and whistles on it, and the finished product is what you all see on your local news channel.
And so today, we don't have a 6 o'clock show. Normally on the weekends we have a 6 o'clock and an 11 show that we have to turn content for, but today we don't have a 6 o'clock show. So normally we would probably be live at 6, but since there's no 6 o'clock show, we're what you call a straight package, which basically means it's just the whole straight recorded piece with no like live part in it. So like some days, after we finished our story, we'd have to go drive to our live location. Austin would have to set up all the live equipment, and we'd do the live shot.
Yeah. So we're gonna probably take a pause right there, and we'll hit you guys back up once we get to Duke and show you kind of how we do the interview process.
Yep. Stay with us. We'll be back. Hey guys, can I ask you a quick question on the local news?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if you guys heard about what happened at the medical school. Did you guys hear about it at all?
No.
So like clip that on your pants or put in your pocket. Not this part here. Sorry.
I don't have pants, so like I can do this.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally fine. Okay, perfect. So you'll look at me, not at the camera. Can you just spell and pronounce your first name and your last name for me?
My first name is Farzeen and last name is Najam. I'm an international undergrad student from Pakistan. So it's like taking away your rights to decide what language you want to speak.
So when these emails first came out and kind of got all over social media, how did you feel as an international student?
Not good. I think there was a very immediate reaction when we felt not accepted by Duke University. As the professor stated in the email, it's hard to be an international student at Duke. It's hard to be an international student anywhere.
We're editing our package now, and I just got more emails.
Members approached her asking for pictures of graduate students so they could identify students they saw speaking Chinese very loudly in the student lounge.
So basically we went to Duke, to their regular undergrad campus, because that's where the public information officer, met us so we could get interviews with students. But it wasn't the actual medical school, the Duke Medical School, and that's where this, actually took place. So obviously we wanted to show video of the medical school. We couldn't find any in our archive. I reached out, there's a different public information officer to get permission to shoot at the medical school, so I called her and she said she's not in her office on the weekend, so she couldn't give us permission. So we had to like shoot from like across the street off the property, so we barely got any good video of the campus of the medical school. Had no archive video of it, so we have like regular university video, like a little bit of the medical school just from what we could get not being on the property. We got the photo of the professor off Duke's website that we can use, and we have screenshots of the emails. We have those couple interviews with students. We also interviewed, well, we actually got lucky on campus because we interviewed an international student from Pakistan. We just happened to find her. And then we also found on Facebook another international student from Mexico who spoke really well. And we just met her by the Panera and we interviewed her there. So now we are sitting at a Cruiser's gas station in Durham, I believe. In Durham. And Austin is editing the package. I am communicating with our producers and assistant news director, as well as like doing the script for the web article. And we're supposed to be off in like 15 minutes, but that's not gonna happen. Not today. What do I do with the lid for
Neely's
this?
email continued.
I already ate mine.
What do I do? You want some almonds?
No, I'm good.
I don't know what I do with the lid for these.
She loses everything.
He's not lying. He's not lying. When you live in a car, it's like pretty easy.
So
I
you
found
wanna,
it.
you wanna cut these sides or what?
Let me take a look really quick.
A graduate program director at Duke School of Medicine has stepped down after a controversial email went viral. In it, she urged international students to speak English. CBS 17's Kelly Kennedy spoke with international students about the emails that some call discriminatory.
When dozens of Duke University students checked their email on Friday afternoon, what they found in their inbox made many of them feel very unwelcome on campus.
I felt like it was really offensive.
Thanks to social media, that email has now been seen by people around the world. Megan Neely, director of the Master of Biometrics program, sent the email. She says faculty members approached her asking for pictures of graduate students so they could identify students they saw speaking Chinese very loudly in the student lounge. Neely's email continued in bold writing. They were disappointed that these students were not taking the opportunity to improve their English and were being so impolite as to have a conversation that not everyone on the floor could understand.
I would understand that if the whole thing was in a class and people were like speaking in their native languages, but if they're like sitting together and they're like randomly talking, I think like that's their right.
She continued on to say, I encourage you to commit to using English 100% of the time.
English is not our first language.
International student Paulina Guerra says many students have started a petition.
Duke touts its diversity, but then when push comes to shove, international students are not being protected and are actively being discriminated against.
An email with a similar tone that Neely sent to students in February 2018 has also surfaced. In the email, she tells students that speaking their native language in the department may give faculty the impression they are not taking the opportunity seriously. The email goes on to say, as a result, they may be more hesitant to hire or work with international students.
It's basically giving a warning to all international students, like, hey, we might not want to work with you because of the fact that you're foreign.
I did reach out to Neely for comment, but so far, I have not heard back. Reporting in Durham, I'm Kelly Kennedy for CBS 17 News.
And the medical school dean put out a statement apologizing to students. It reads in part, to be clear, there is absolutely no restriction or limitation on the language you use to converse and communicate with each other. Your career opportunities and recommendations will not in any way be influenced by the language you use outside the classroom. The dean has requested the university's Office of Institutional Equity to conduct a thorough review of the master's program. Students say they would like the identities of the two faculty members who complained about students speaking Chinese made public. They say they would also like the university to provide cultural sensitivity training to all staff.